Good morning. It's Jason, your sober soldier still fighting this battle. And I say that because even after we get sober and we start living a sober life, we have to keep in mind that the battle isn't over. For some reason, we become addicted because we find a feeling that feels so good because it detaches us from the pain that we used to feel, that we'll literally do anything to make that feeling go on. Hence the addiction in the first place. I've been talking a lot about getting into treatment and what you can do to help yourself to recover your life that you used to have before addiction. A lot of us haven't experienced too much of our life that didn't have something to do with addiction our entire life. Even before we were addicts ourselves, we lived in families and amongst friends that constantly brought substances or alcoholic use into our life. And that's just a common factor of a lot of people that grow up, especially here in America. You know, our diets, the things we watch, the things that soak up our time, entertain us, it's all addictive factors, all the way from sugar to caffeine, nicotine, to the lighter drugs like marijuana, and the heavier drugs like heroin, crack, cocaine, whatever your flavor is. So you're sitting at home feeling hopeless. You're going through life feeling like there is no end to what you're going through. And I understand it can be hard to convince you to get into treatment. I talked last time about getting into detox. If you haven't seen the video, go back and watch. And I explain what to expect in the beginning stages of detox, stuff like that. As you get through detox, towards the end of it, you might be thinking, hey, I don't need to continue this. I've been sober for weeks now. I got this. You may or may not be going to meetings, participating in the groups that you've been sitting through, the agonizing boredom, thinking, will this ever end? But if that's going through your head and you're thinking those thoughts, you're not absorbing the knowledge and the tools that you could be to help make your life better in the future. A lot of what keeps us addicted to that old mindset is revolving and reflecting on the past constantly. And that can be one of the biggest hindrances to being able to progress your life. You got to trust the process. You have to listen. And you have to sit through those moments that feel like complete boredom. Because the thing is, once you come off of a drug or alcohol, it's natural after living a lifestyle where you're pushing the limits of excitement constantly, day in and day out. And once you take that away, your brain is going to be at a deficit for excitement, adrenaline, or whatever you call it. You're going to feel bored naturally. So expect to feel that. And remember, those feelings are temporary. Now, as you veer towards the end of your detox, I would highly suggest to merge into a sober living for at least a period of time to reset your life. The meaning of the word recover is to get something back. And in recovery, what we're trying to do is get our life back, get our mind back, get that mindset that you had before the drugs and alcohol that let you do all the things that made you successful in the past. When you get into sober living, the best thing is to structure yourself and to get out in the world and start trying to gain back your independence. And you do that by not leaning on other people in the ways that you would have before. Because before, we didn't want to face any of the strenuous tasks like walking somewhere, riding the bus, or even doing things ourselves. Those are so crucial and so important in gaining back the mentality that we need to survive and provide for our family. You know, when you recover yourself, you're also giving yourself back to the people that love and care for you. Maybe that's the only reason you're even still breathing. I can remember literally waking up dead in the middle of the city with people looking at me telling me I shouldn't be here. I'm like, I know, I'll leave. And they're like, no, you don't understand, you shouldn't be here. You've been dead for over 30 minutes. There's no way you should still be alive. And even though I was at such a low point in my life, there was people that still believed in me because of the person that I was before my addiction. So the important thing is to retrain your mind to be able to live a sober lifestyle. It's not just about getting sober. That's the easy part. I'll throw you in jail for a week. It'll make you sober, but it's not going to teach you to maintain that sober lifestyle. That you have to do yourself. You have to stick it out, go through the pain, stay consistent, and let in that little D word called discipline. Because through consistency and discipline, we literally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Those two things become your guiding force that will carry you through. Sober livings are literally built to structure your life and bring you back to your former self. Usually there's a person that's running your sober living. There's people that have been there longer than you have. And the entire system is built to help the newcomer, to help that person fresh out of detox, fresh off of the first phase of sobriety, move into the next phase. But it's up to you to open your mind and let the denial die so that you can start to progress yourself in a way that will bring you back to the person that you need to be. You know, I'm nearly at 14 months clean now. And that might as well be 10 years, especially for the addiction that I had. I didn't care to be sober for one day, not 1 minute. I had disgraced myself. I dishonored myself with my family and my kids. I raised 3 beautiful sons, Used to take him to work every day, teach him the ropes and how to be a man. I had my ex, my baby mom, literally, she couldn't stand my guts, but she would make sure that my kids were close to me, especially in the time that they were younger and coming up as little boys into young men, because she knew that someone had to teach them how to be a man. And maybe sometimes that was my only job other than paying child support, because obviously I was young and thought that going out and having fun was more important than slowing down because I had kids. But we slowly learn our lessons. As I move into my 40s and as age starts to catch up with me, I realize how much time I took from them by enjoying myself. But it's never too late. It's never too late to show the people that matter in your life how important it is to push through whatever addiction, whatever sickness, whatever depression you're going through, in order to have a good life, to teach your kids. As my grandkids start growing up, my sons know. They know exactly how important it is to be a father. When I first got into sober living, I couldn't stand the people around me. Everybody had so much energy. They're like, let's go walk to the beach. Let's go walk here, walk there. I'm like, dude, I ain't walking nowhere. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I would run out of breath walking 3 blocks to the store for cigarettes that I wanted. Now, 14 months into it, I've quit smoking cigarettes. I no longer have urges that I had a year ago when I thought drugs were the only thing that could save me. I have urges and sleepless nights because I want to be progressive in my life, thinking about what can I do to make another step towards the next phase of my life, towards being successful. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in communication. I've got certifications in the mental health field to be able to reach out to other people that go through battles just like what I'm going through, to give them hope. Some of the best friends that I've had in my entire life are all dead because they weren't given the chances that I was given. But you got to give yourself a chance. That's what it boils down to. Sometimes you got to realize denial is such a strong phase of the beginning part of addiction, the beginning part of sobriety, that it will hold you back from doing anything to help yourself. So since sober living and IOP, residential treatment, is such a big part of your treatment, I don't think that I could wrap that up in just, one simple video. But for the first part of your recovery, moving into residential, I definitely think after detox, IOP and PHP need to be the next thing on your list. And once you get into a rhythm of living a sober lifestyle, that wind starts to come back into your lungs. That energy starts to fill your blood again. And I would also recommend starting getting into the gym, or at least doing, mild calisthenics if it's just in the beginning phases of your recovery. Because through working your body and training yourself to have that discipline to push into the pain, especially in the beginning, it speeds up that part of the process, that healing phase, that part you need to go through in order to teach yourself how to be human. So, promise y'all I'll be bringing you some more content. And just know the things that I tell you and the information I give you is firsthand experiences from a long road out of hell. It wasn't easy at all for me. And sometimes, as I go through my day-to-day, it still ain't easy. Even though I got a car now, I got a decent place to live, I still go through trials that push me and test me every day. So don't think that I've forgotten what it's like to be in that dark place. I don't think it can ever go away. But I do think as we get stronger, we learn how to deal with it in different ways. In ways that diminish the darkness and bring us closer to the light. So anybody watching this that's made it through the last 24 with me, clean and serene, if ain't nobody told you they're proud of you today, I am. And if ain't nobody told you they love you today, I do. Because sometimes that's all I needed was somebody to just tell me they were proud of me for what I was going through. So, this is your boy JD 2.0. If you dig the content that I put out, go back, watch some of my videos, or maybe hit that little like and subscribe button at the bottom. Show a little support. But whatever you do, stay locked in. Peace.